What if I told you that the most valuable thing you own is something you lose every single second? Not money. Not success. Not even opportunity. Time. The strange part is, we all know time is important, but we don't feel its value until it's already gone. This is a story about a man who thought he had plenty of time until one ordinary day forced him to see it differently. His name was Hamza. He lived a simple life in a busy city, working a stable office job. His days followed a predictable rhythm: wake up late, rush to work, scroll through his phone during breaks, return home tired, and spend hours watching videos before going to sleep. Nothing felt urgent. Nothing felt meaningful either. Hamza often told himself, "I'll start later." Later, he would learn new skills. Later, he would focus on his health. Later, he would spend more time with his family. For now, he believed he had time. His parents lived nearby, but he visited them only occasionally. His father would sometimes say, "Come sit with me for a while." Hamza would smile and reply, "Soon, Baba. I'm just busy these days." And then he would leave. At first, Hamza didn't see anything wrong with his life. He wasn't failing, he wasn't struggling. But he wasn't growing either. Days passed quickly, but nothing really changed. Weeks turned into months. And slowly, a quiet discomfort began to build inside him. He showed up in small ways: when he saw someone his age achieving something meaningful. When he noticed how tired he felt all the time. When he realized he couldn't remember the last real conversation he had with his parents. Still, he ignored it. Because facing it meant accepting something uncomfortable. He wasn't running out of time, he was wasting it. One evening, everything shifted. Hamza received a call from his younger sister. Her voice was different, tense, urgent. "Baba is not feeling well. We're taking him to the hospital." For a moment, everything around Hamza went silent. The noise of the street, the notifications on his phone all faded away. He rushed to the hospital. When he arrived, he saw his father lying on a bed, weaker than he had ever seen him before. Machines beeped softly beside him. Hamza stood there, unsure of what to say. This was the same man who once seemed strong, steady, unshakable. And now, he looked fragile. When his father opened his eyes, he smiled faintly. "You came," he said. That simple sentence hit harder than anything else. In the days that followed, Hamza's routine changed completely. He spent more time at the hospital than anywhere else, sat beside his father, sometimes in silence, sometimes talking about small things, memories, old stories, moments they had forgotten. For the first time in years, he wasn't distracted, he wasn't rushing, he wasn't thinking about later. He was present. And that presence revealed something he hadn't noticed before: how much time he had already missed. The conversations he postponed. The moments he delayed. The opportunities he ignored. Time hadn't waited. It had quietly moved on with or without him. One night, as Hamza sat alone in the hospital corridor, a thought began to trouble him. What if I had come earlier? What if he had listened when his father asked him to sit for a while? What if he had chosen differently, even in small ways? Regret is a heavy feeling. Not because it changes the past, but because it makes you see it clearly. For a moment, Hamza felt overwhelmed. He couldn't go back. He couldn't undo the lost time. And that realization made him question everything. Was it too late to change? The next morning, Hamza walked into his father's room with a quiet decision. He couldn't change the past, but he could choose what to do with the time he still had. Sat beside his father and said, "Tell me that story again, the one about your first job." His father smiled. And as he began to speak, something shifted. It wasn't a big moment. No dramatic change. Just a simple conversation. But this time, Hamza listened fully. No phone and no distractions. Just attention. And in that moment, he understood something deeply. Time doesn't become valuable when it's gone. It becomes valuable when you are present within it. After his father recovered and returned home, Hamza didn't go back to his old routine. He started making small changes. He woke up earlier, he limited the time he spent on meaningless distractions, he visited his parents regularly, not out of obligation, but intention. He didn't try to fix everything at once, he simply respected his time more than before. Because he realized something: most people ignore. Time is not just about productivity, it's about presence. It's about where your attention goes, and what you choose to give your moments to. Time is not lost in big moments, it slips away in the small ones we choose to ignore. So take a moment and think about your own life. What are you postponing? A conversation, a goal, a change you keep delaying because you believe there's still time. Maybe there is. But maybe the real question is, how are you using it right now? Because time doesn't announce when it's leaving, it just goes. And one day, like Hamza, you may realize that the moments you thought were ordinary were actually important. If this story made you pause and reflect, take a second to share it with someone who might need it. And if you want more stories like this, stories that quietly shift how you see your life, consider subscribing to Wisdom Journey.